Well, this is a first for me because I'm reviewing a G-Shock I didn't actually like. The shame is, I thought I was going to love this one. I thought I had found the Frogman of my dreams. Today we are reviewing the GW8230B-9A, the Frogman 30th anniversary. This may seem confusing because G-Shock have been releasing watches for their 40th anniversary all year, but this watch is specifically a celebration of the Frogman line. In 2023, G-Shock will celebrate 30 years of the Frogman line, a line that launched all the way back in 1993 with the reference DW6300. In commemoration of this 30th anniversary, G-Shock are releasing this watch, which is an upgraded model of the second generation black and gold DW8200B-9A. Let's go over some of the stats, a brief review of the watch, and then towards the end I'll get into the reasons why I'm not a fan of this watch. Just to set the scene, I bought this from Hodinkee after a very confusing advertising campaign by Casio. I paid full price on the Hodinkee website, and Hodinkee and Casio have got nothing to do with this review. I bought this with my own hard-earned cash. In fact, for the record, the buying experience from Hodinkee was excellent. They keep you informed. It was an easy checkout process, so overall a really good experience. I'd definitely buy from them again. This watch was released a few months ago and it seemed to be available in the European markets almost straight away. So when I received the email that it was finally available in the US, I jumped on the Casio website to buy one. This is where the confusion starts, because for some reason they were releasing them in a competition or a lottery style. So I added one to the basket as per the instructions, went through the checkout. They put a hold on my credit card for the full $660, which was the price of the watch plus the Florida sales tax. I got an email the next day to say I hadn't been one of the lucky people that was blessed with the opportunity to buy this watch. So they released the credit card payment, and all that was left was me very confused with a sour taste in my mouth about the whole experience. What was even more confusing is the following day they were available on Hodinkee, no restrictions, no competition, no limits to how many you could buy. So I promptly added one to the cart, paid my money, and placed my order. Just a really confusing buying experience, because even to the point that I'm recording this review now, that competition is still running on the Casio website, whereas they're readily available on Hodinkee still. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you'll know that I've not filmed a proper unboxing of a watch for many years now. I prefer to show the watch, and if there's anything interesting about the packaging, I'll show it, but I don't do a traditional unboxing. But I think this watch definitely calls for that to be done, because the packaging is underwhelming to say the least, and you've got to see it to believe it. I think the promotional pictures make the watch box look awesome, and they also included a little bag as well, which I was excited to see. In reality, you're greeted with a very weird cardboard inner box. It already looked tatty by the time I got it. The artwork is good, but for a watch of this price, I'm not sure a cardboard inner box is appropriate. I'm sure I can find some marketing rubbish about it being recyclable or made from recycled toilet paper or some other rubbish, but honestly, steel is also recyclable, and the bag that came in it was extremely cheap. I was actually most looking forward to seeing that bag. Compare this box to the amazing box that we reviewed when we saw that NASA limited edition watch. That tin was absolutely fantastic. The artwork was striking and really complemented the watch and the theme they were going for. Now, bearing in mind that NASA G-Shock was $170 versus $620 of this Frogman. I'm all for recycling. I diligently separate my recycling from my trash each week and put out the bin. But I've never bought a watch and have my first thought be, wow, how can I recycle the box that it came in? It seems more like a marketing gimmick for Casio to say that they're environmentally friendly than actually a practical box that you can reuse. I imagine this watch will have no problem seeing the Frogman 60th anniversary, but the box it comes in, that'll be dust by that time. Okay, enough of a rant about the packaging, let's focus on the watch. This watch does have some impressive functions, but they do look somewhat underwhelming based on other Frogmen that have multiband 6, depth gauges, and most G-Shocks in this price range come equipped with Bluetooth now, And with the companion app for transferring logs, dive logs over and setting the time, it's an extremely useful function for a watch like this. So what functions does it come with? Well, it has the time, dive time and surface interval measurement, world time, moon data, a time graph, and a 1/1000 second stopwatch, a countdown timer, and a full auto calendar to the year 2099. The tide and moon graphs on the front are something that distinguishes it visually from the original watch that inspired it, but I think it's a nice addition. The watch is made of titanium plastic, but annoyingly it only has mineral crystal as opposed to sapphire, and Casio have put sapphire on other G-Shocks, so it's easily doable. The plastic used is a new biomass plastic that is featured on the band and the bezel. This plastic is apparently produced from materials derived from castor and corn seed, but it does look and feel like a regular G-Shock, and I wouldn't have known that it was a specialist plastic if I'd not read it on the description. The watch measures in at 52mm by 50.3 diameter and 18mm thickness. If you're not familiar with the Frogman line, that might seem massive, but it's actually smaller than the other Frogmen that are available. It uses the caliber module 321. It has tough solar with a 14 months with the just on the battery alone. In keeping with other Frogmen, it's ISO certified to 200 meters as well. The black, yellow and gold accents make the watch really stand out. The gold screws, buckle and dial accents look awesome in person. The brushed titanium case is well executed. The gunmetal look of the titanium protective core around the module also looks great in person. I had been procrastinating for years about buying a Frogman. Being a G-Shock fan, I knew that I had to own one day. As soon as this model came out, that was the one. And I'd probably been flirting with the idea of buying a Frogman for over 10 years. With the watch having titanium and plastic in its constructions, it's also very light. The fit and finish is excellent, as with most G-Shocks. The similarities to the model that inspired it show true respect to the original design. But as the Frogman over the years moved along in looks, functionalities and features, should they have left the original to the history books to be remembered fondly? So I've told you a lot about what I love. The look, the fit and finish is excellent. So why do I say that I'm not a fan of this watch? The first reason is totally on me, and it's the way that the strap overhangs the watch and overhangs my wrist. It just looks weird to my eye. I have about an average 7.2 inch wrist and never usually have issues with G-Shocks. I wore a Rangeman for ages and that review is on the channel. The Rangeman is arguably a similar size to the Frogman. I think the wearability of the Rangeman is much better. I'm guessing the massive overhang is to allow it to fit better over a wetsuit for scuba diving, but honestly, most scuba enthusiasts I know wear a dive computer and a Scurfer watch. A Scurfer watch is just an ordinary sized watch. The founder of the brand is a real life commercial diver and designed the watch specifically for diving. The strap has additional plastic components, I'm guessing as shock absorbers, but they basically restrict the flexibility of the strap. As you tighten the strap around your wrist, it causes a downward pressure, leaving an unsightly gap between the strap and the case. It also left me with the fear that the spring bar was going to fail because of the pressure that was being applied. But in all truth, I could have lived with this. On other G-Shocks, I've bought Zulu straps and adapted it, and I'm sure those are available for the Frogman as well to really reduce that bulk of the strap. I'm saying this one is on me because the overhang of the strap is quite obvious when you watch other reviews of other Frogmen, and it's something that's commonly known about the Frogmen. I just didn't realise how pronounced it would be and how weird it would look on my wrist. Now, it's the second issue that I honestly can't really live with. It bothers me, but that doesn't mean that it's going to bother you. This is just all personal preference, of course. Honestly, I don't think the watch is that legible. The LCD looks dark and doesn't offer that much contrast. It's not easy to read the time at a quick glance. All of the G-Shocks I have owned seem to have lighter backing to the LCD, and even the current Frogman seems to have a very bright backing to the LCD display. It's confusing because arguably the Frogman should be the most legible of all of the G-Shocks if it's going to be used for diving. The frog that appears with the LED backlight is a nice trick, but honestly it doesn't improve the legibility. Your eyes really have to adjust to separate the numbers from the frog in the background. It's far more of a gimmick than a practical way of illuminating the watch and making it more visible, I think. It's confusing because for a watch of this big to have a screen that's not that legible, it doesn't make sense to me, and I probably will be returning this watch, which I've had to think about a lot because with it being limited edition, it would probably make sense to keep hold of it for a few years, and then if somebody was searching for it years down, I might even be able to sell it for slightly more. I know that this is something that I can't live with, the legibility, and I don't want to deny somebody else of owning this watch who might actually wear it. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I was blown away by that NASA G-Shock if you saw my recent review on that, and I think it's night and day between the legibility of that NASA G-Shock, the tying in with the theme, the celebration of NASA, than this G-Shock, which is supposed to be a celebration of the 30th anniversary of that model of the Frogman. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time on Casual Watch Reviews.